是一开始做就必须继续做下去。
这就是万真一，共有9000。
Hey there folks, my name's Gray, welcome to Video Holocaust, where over the last few videos I've reviewed a number of movies from genres as diverse as science fiction to exploitation. So with today's review, I wanted to get back to what I started this channel for in the first place and look at a good old-fashioned martial arts movie. But despite being well versed in chop-socky cinema, there is a gap in my knowledge which may surprise you, and that's with the output from the legendary Shaw Brothers studio. And while I've seen many notable classics from their heaving back catalogue, such as Come Drink With Me, One-Armed Swordsman, My Young Auntie, and of course 36 Chambers, these titles merely scratched the surface from a studio that in its pomp was the biggest in all of Asia. So today I'm going to review one of the biggest hits of 1978. It is 5 Deadly Venoms. It's long puzzled me why great Japanese directors like Akira Kurosawa and Kenji Mizoguchi, who are primarily known in the West for their samurai and period epics, have always been considered critical darlings, while the Chinese, and in particular those from Hong Kong, are virtually held in contempt by most critics. True Hong Kong cinema has always had a trashy reputation, and many of its more prominent filmmakers never rose above mediocre, but for many decades one director carried the industry on his back, knocking out classic after classic and having an eye for talent that was second to none. That man's name was Chang, a man I first became intrigued by when John Woo listed him as a major influence on his career, just as he was making his Hollywood debut. But despite all that, even most hardcore action movie buffs don't even know his name. So I hope in some small way I can help to spread the name of a director whose legacy within Kung Fu cinema cannot be underestimated. But while the director Chang Cheh's work is slowly being re-evaluated and rediscovered by the next generation of Kung Fu fans, what about the stars? The Venoms. Well, first of all, there's 6 of them. These are Qiu Chu, Liu Feng, Qiang Sheng, Sun Qian, Lo Mang, and Wei Pei. And while their names don't exactly roll off the tongue, they would all for a spell be some of the most in-demand actors in Hong Kong, despite all of them being virtually unknowns before shooting 5 Deadly Venoms. After making a star out of Jimmy Wang Yu in 1968 with One-Armed Swordsman, Chang would move away from the sweeping wuxia or swordplay movies to turn his talents to the kung fu genre, after Bruce Lee revolutionized it in the early 70s. One of the great ironies here though is that had Bruce accepted the Shaw Brothers contract instead of Golden Harvest's, Chang is no doubt one of the directors he would have been paired with. But with the 70s coming to an end, Chang would again bring some much needed fresh blood to his latest picture, unleashing the fist of fury of a group of up-and-coming talents in 5 Deadly Venoms. The group dubbed the Venom Mob forever after the enormous success the movie enjoyed upon release, as they would reunite in multiple sequels and spin-offs. All of which would be produced over a 3-year spell between 1978 to 1981, after which the Venom Mob would largely go their own ways. Rival studio Golden Harvest, who struggled to replace Bruce Lee after his untimely death in 1973, would by the beginning of the 1980s be the dominant name at the box office, with a roster of stars like the 3 dragons of Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung and Yuen Biao. But other Shaw movies starring the mob include such gems as Crippled Avengers, aka Return of the 5 Venoms, The Kid with the Golden Arm, and the crazily inventive House of Traps. The story centres around a kung fu style known as the Venom School, which teaches the arts of killing and assassination. Because of this, they are outcasts in the world of martial arts, and each student wears a mask so nobody knows who they are, not even their fellow practitioners. At his deathbed, the last Grand Master makes a request of his final student. Find the only other master, who also happens to be in possession of a great treasure, stolen by their Venom house, and request it be given up to clear the school's name. A difficult task made even harder by the fact that the Venom School's previous students, the masters of Toad, Gecko, Scorpion, Centipede and Snake styles, are also looking for it. And so a game of cat and mouse begins, as Snake and Centipede find the second master, now living a simple life as a clerk, but no treasure. Gecko and Toad combine to stop them, but with Toad's execution at the hands of corrupt government officials and Scorpion's identity still unknown, the stage is set for the final showdown, where the Scorpion is revealed and the last student teams up with Gecko to end the Venom School's evil lineage and fulfill their master's last wish. So, is 5 Venoms worth checking out? Well, if you like your martial arts traditional and like me grew up wanting to know which movie hip-hop group Wu-Tang Clan got their samples from, then yes indeed, you need to watch this one. And while the notorious conveyor belt style of filmmaking at Shaw Brothers, coupled with the budget limitations, are both noticeably on screen, this movie has something that's missing from many big budget releases of today: heart. This movie was a labour of love from all involved, particularly the young cast, who grabbed this opportunity to showcase their skills and in doing so produced a classic of kung fu action cinema. Sadly, despite the distributor Celestial Pictures' noble effort of trying to remaster and re-release on DVD for the first time much of the Shaw Brothers back catalogue, many titles, including this one, are now once again becoming difficult to source, so grab it while you can. This has been my review of 5 Deadly Venoms, aka Shaolin Poison. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like, share and subscribe. So until the next time, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.